my name's Minwai. Today I learn English. American textbook reading, Social Study 1, Lesson 6. Let's start. The first word we have here is leader. So our first word is leader. What is a leader? A leader is a person. He is a person who is in charge of a big group. They are kind of like the people who lead a big group. They're kind of like the people who helps these people in the group so that they can be a great group, right? A leader usually can be very powerful. They have a lot of people together to help them. So now let's look at these people. We have the leaders. This is kind of like the real leaders, and these people who are behind this real leader is a people who helps this big leaders to do his works. Okay? So they will write in information for other citizens, right? These leaders are very, very hard when they're working. So these people are very polite, and they are usually very polite. Next, we have the word mayor. So mayor, what does the word mayor mean? Mayor is kind of like the leader of the city or a town. Mayor can be the leader. Mayor can be look like leaders, right? So mayors and leaders, they have the same meaning. Usually they have almost the same meanings. If you're living in an area where it's big or small, there might be a mayor if you live in a big city or a big town. But if you live in a small city or a small town, there might be no leaders. This is the place where people would decide for themselves. They won't need any leaders or any people who helps them when they're working. So if we don't have leaders in a small commune, then what will we do? We would vote. Vote means to make a choice. So we vote for leaders. We vote for people to be leaders or not to be leaders anymore. We vote for our people to be leaders. We vote for these people if they're still leaders or they're now not leaders anymore. We have horrible people who are voting together to make a choice and see they combine them together to choose the people. Votes can also be a verb. It's not a noun. It can be a verb too. Verbs mean to vote for our people, and nouns mean to make a vote. So what was the final vote? Is the final choice for all the people, all the places in your commune. So these might cast your vote. Cast your vote. Vote. When you're voting, you cast your vote. Right? Like this girl, she's putting her piece of vote into what? Into the box so that they can calculate the numbers of votes for this side and the numbers of votes for that side. Now next we have election. Election means to choose a leaders or leaders by a vote. So elections they do a competition. They do a competition, and then they will see who can have the best votes so that they can be leaders, right? They can be like these two people. They are doing pressures to see who can be the people who's the president of the United States. They have contenders. They have contents. They have contenders, or they have one contender, right? So it means elections mean to take people to be able to vote for themselves so that they can be leaders. So these peoples, they are kind of like they makes other people to believe themselves so that they can be leaders. Okay, so next we have counts. So counts means to say one by one and to know how many there are. So when we vote, there's so many pieces of votes. So we need to count to know how many votes is in this group, how many votes is in that group, how many peoples are there in those groups, right? So that they can know the amount of people who vote for each team so that they can be leaders. When you're counting, you know how many things are there, how many something are there, how many are there, right? Something is uncountable. You can't count them, but something is countable, count them easily, okay? Now the next word we have is adult. Adult is a person who is fully grown. So adult is a people who has fully grown so that they can vote. If you are too young, then people will say, sorry man, but you're too young for voting. See you next time. When you're old enough, they will say, okay, go and vote. Right? Of course. So all countries, all communities, they have adults so that they can vote. Right?